Nobody is coming to save you, and once you realize that, everything changes. This is something that I've learned within the past year or so, and honestly, it's changed my life dramatically. I'm not making this video to scare you by any means, but it's just something that I wish I learned a lot sooner than I did. At first, that thought sucks, to be honest, but then after a while, it makes you feel free. And if you think that someone's gonna come around someday and just take away all your problems, you're wrong. I know it really sucks, but people have their own lives to worry about and they don't really care about yours. And that's why you notice yourself putting in all the effort, doing things on a daily basis, and you're not getting any sort of credit for it. You could be posting YouTube videos every day or TikToks every day, and you're not getting the recognition that you think that you deserve. But if you keep that up and you stay consistent, then there's no possible way that you can't make it happen. Tell me this, if you were to post on social media every single day, you make a promise to yourself that you're gonna do this and make it happen until it works. If you never quit, it's literally impossible for it not to work. If you make it your sole mission in life to complete whatever it is, being a YouTuber for example, or being someone on social media, if that's your mission and you work towards that every single day and you don't even give them a chance to see you give up, there's no way that you fail. And sure, don't get me wrong, when you see a video not do good or you're not really getting the results that you were hoping for, it is very, very discouraging. And that's where a lot of people tend to quit. So you always need to remember the mission that you set yourself on and think about the long-term results. To tie this back into someone never coming to save you, you gotta remember that you're doing it for yourself and no one else. And it honestly took me way too long to notice this myself because I was stuck chasing validation from other people and sharing my ideas in hopes that they would support me, when in the long run, they don't really care. And if anything, they're somewhat jealous because you have dreams and they're not deciding to follow their own. Maybe they'll show you some sort of support when you're first starting, but after a while, people get sick of it because you're the one that's trying to become better and actually chase your goals while they're sitting back and not really doing much with life. For example, I have multiple friends that I kind of wanted to pursue my dreams with, and I wanted to try putting them onto my own dreams, but in the long run, they're just more content with life and fine with what they're already doing. They don't want to have to put in extra work towards something that isn't for sure. But like I was saying, you have to do it for you and strictly only you. You can't let other people determine whether you're going to do something or not. And I feel like this is one thing that I wish I just could have heard a whole lot sooner than I did. Because to be truthful with you, no one's coming to save you, and no one really wants to help you. But not exactly everyone, because the whole reason I'm making this video is to show and tell people and inspire you guys that you can really do whatever you put your mind to, but you can't rely on someone to help you and do the work for you. And eventually you start recognizing your own hard work, seeing that what you've been working on makes you happy. And that's one of the biggest things. You start feeling validated by yourself because you know you're putting in the hard work. You don't need to hear what other people have to say, whether it's good or bad. I used to wait for someone to notice how hard I was trying, but it turned out nobody was coming. So that flipped a switch in my brain to where I don't need to hear your opinion or what you have to say at all. Don't get me wrong, if you're posting on social media and you get positive comments and people thanking you for what you're saying, sure, that feels good, and that's a temporary dopamine that you may need. But once you start relying on that and you can't do it without it, then you're already going downhill. So a quick story that I have for you that kind of resonates with the last point that I was talking about is I started an Instagram account based on a car that I'm very passionate about, and I was posting videos just because how much I enjoy these cars, and regardless of posting these videos, I'm going to be watching them on Reels anyways. I started by doing it for my own sake and doing it because it was something that made me happy and something that I enjoyed doing. And after a while, people stopped supporting as much. I was getting lower views and lower engagement, and that kind of sent me in a mental decline. I was more or less focused on the reaction I was getting out of people and seeing how many people would enjoy it over myself enjoying it. And this eventually led to me just completely quit posting, and I stopped posting on this account. I started off so hot, and I was doing it for the passion and the love of the game. But as soon as I started relying on other people and what they had to say, I started doing it just more for them and forgetting the whole purpose of it, and that I was supposed to be doing it for myself. And after taking the time to realize this, I realized that I don't need permission from these people, and I don't need the validation from them. I just need to move and point myself in the right direction for me. You can't rely on people for guiding you towards the things that you want to do and your choices in life. So moral of the story, do it for you in the long run. Remember why you started. And I'm not saying don't rely on anyone ever, because that would just come off bitter. It's more or less that if nobody shows up, you still move regardless. And it's not a sad thing that no one's coming to save you, but it should make you feel free. And I'm gonna leave you guys on that one. I greatly appreciate anyone who made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of my journey, feel free to follow along. Thank you.